Winspiration, the way to the essential. On UK Health Radio, Winspiration brings wisdom and information for an extraordinary future. Together, we can shape the world we want to live in. So let's get real and create the idea. Be extraordinary. Welcome to another episode of Winspiration Radio. Today, no special guest, or let's say you are the special guest, because I really want to talk to you. When we say here in the intro, let's create an extraordinary world, that sounds so maybe a little bit like marketing, but not blah blah. It is really what I really strongly believe, that we all together have the chance to really create a paradise on planet Earth. As we have enough money, we have enough food, we have everything. Maybe not the right distribution system, maybe not the right awareness or the willingness to cooperate, or not the understanding how we could make it happen. And that's why today I want to talk a little bit about how do we materialize out of the nothing, out of the blue, whatever we want. So, why are you not happy every day? Why are you maybe not always healthy? Why can something from the outside trigger you? At least we believe that. As we say, you make me angry. And when I say, let's create an extraordinary future, then I see everybody of us, every human being, living a life in their own sovereignty. Wow. What if we are not slaves? What if we would live up to our full potential? I made a lot of workshops around the globe, talked with a lot of people. And when I ask them, do you feel you live really already up to your full potential? Or is there still room? Everybody said, nah, I'm living not my full potential. I could do better. So why we're not doing it? Why we're living in a world like we're living it? I believe it's a very simple concept. Like in quantum physics, it says, the observer creates the outcome. So what and how do we observe? When I decide, I see something on the outside and then I judge it, it's good, it's bad, you make me angry, then it's not really the outside, it is just what I create, how I see the world. So many people I had in workshops, I did different workshops just about what we call the inner purpose, the essence, or if it was money workshops, I did millionaire workshops. And always people believe, like, for example, with the money, oh, I need to have the right business, or I need to have the right stocks, a business investment idea. And it's not true. In my time, when I was still a lawyer and had the tax accounting company, and we did financial advising and selling also investment funds, real estate, etc., I realized there are three types of people. There was one group where always a minus. They always see themselves in minus. And we could give them the best investment. They managed to stay in minus. And then there were people who were always around zero. Whatever happened, whatever investment idea they had or they could get investments, they stayed in minus. And then there were people, the plus people, they were always financially, always in plus. And even if it happened that they had a bad situation in business, something bad happened, even if you would give them a bad investment, they managed to stay in plus. Why is that? Because we all know, and I think you know too, it's not so much on the outside what counts. It counts more what's on the inside. On what kind of frequency level you are. What are you vibrating? Do you believe it's not working, or you believe everything is working? Really believe, not hoping, not wishing. Who are you? And that is why around 90% of all lotto millionaires lose the money. Because it's a big difference if you have 1 million on the bank account or you are a millionaire. If you are a millionaire, it doesn't matter which amount of money you have on the bank account. Like my mentor, Bob Proctor, wrote a book, You're Born Rich, but maybe just a little bit short of money at the moment. If you are a top soccer player, if you are one of the top 10 tennis players, you are it, even if you're not playing tennis or soccer at the moment. When I did my millionaire workshops, I tried to explain the concept of be, do, have. Be first. And some people then say, no, I just can't go in the shop and buy the Ferrari already because I don't have the money. And I said, listen carefully. I didn't say buy. I said be. And we can start with the being. And when I ask him, what if you really would have the money on the bank account? You're sure, you know for 100% you have the million on the bank account. Would there a little bit of difference the way you talk, your body posture, the way you walk? Maybe would you change something in your hair? Different haircut? Maybe you would dress a little bit different. If you go into the bank, would you walk different into the bank? Everybody said, yes, there would be a difference. There would be a difference. I would be different. I would act different. I would speak different. I would be different. So here it starts. Be it first. And that costs nothing. Like some people say, act as if. But that makes a big difference. First of all, you prepare yourself of being it, and then you can attract it. And even if it comes, you can hold it and keep it. Famous Nelson Mandela. He was a terrorist, put in prison. And he believed at that time, that's it. It's over. I never will come out here. And if you believe you never will come out here, how do you live your daily life? Kind of upset, pissed off, depressed, whatever. One day, a question came up in his mind. What if? What if I come out? One day, they let me leave this prison. They will let me free. What if? And then he needed to think and feel what he want to be and do with that. Who do I want to be? And later we know what a great person came out of it. When he asked, what did you do 27 years in prison? He said, I prepared. So whatever you want in life, do you really believe it will happen? It will be? And are you preparing already? And this preparing is essential, because preparing like a millionaire or like the president means you go in a different vibration. You go in a different frequency. And you need to be this, because a lotto winner gets $1 million, but is losing it directly. If Mandela was still be the terrorist, maybe he never would have come out. But what life would be then? What would be then in the country? And he had a different vision. He said, whatever was in the past with the whole country, we can make a difference. And when he came out, and if you didn't see it yet, look at the movie, show the movie Invictus. And quite often he says, forgiveness starts now, here and now. And you can forgive yourself for whatever you've done, what kind of frequency you had in the past. You can start every day new to create a new you. And I will give you 7 steps how to do that. 7 steps to success, the creating process. And then you can be, do, and have whatever you want. So let's come to the 7 steps. The 7 steps of success. I first published it 2008 in my book, Millionaire Spirit. But I experienced it before. It was not just simply channeled that day when I was writing the book. No, it's my personal experience also, because I was before in, let's say, quite deep shit. I had created the facade, the offices, the hard life, and the facade looked good, but inside I was empty, a very stressy life, not really healthy, 70 hours a week, hard work. And never really good sleep because of so much stress. So I could sit there and think, oh, I want it different. Oh, could that be different? Could it be? It was a kind of weenie whining. Why is this me? And why this? Why is it so difficult? Why me? Because I created it. But I was not really aware in the beginning. And all my attention or my energy was on my drama. And we know, yeah, where the energy flows, there, where you create everything. So to make it a long story a little bit short, if you want to know more about it, you find here also on UK Health Radio and my presenter page, the link to the book, Better the Whole World Against Me Than My Soul, about the process, how I changed everything in my life. But it's simply the 7 steps. And number one of the 7 steps is a decision. I made a decision, really a decision. I was not just weenie whiny. I made a decision. I want to get out of this where I was, and never, ever in my life I want to experience this again. And that was not just a thought. It was not just a wish. It was not just a dream. It was a real decision. I go out, and there was another thought. I will never, ever be dependent on banks. I didn't want to be dependent on banks because to grow the business, to build it all, I had bank loans, and it was fun in the beginning to get a loan. But afterwards you see, okay, I want you to work for the bank, and I work for the bank. The interest at that time were quite high, so I worked for the bank. When I realized how much I work for the bank, how much I work for all the employees, for my facade, I had 200,000 Deutschmarks costs every month. That's quite a lot for a lawyer or for the group. So I was only focused on getting the 200,000 for paying all the bills. And a lot went to the banks or the landlord and everything. So I realized I worked my ass off for other people, not really for my real, true dreams. The facade was my ego, was more compensating to show something to other people. And it didn't really make me happy. And a lot of stress, like a burnout or something, creates health issues. And if you have a lot of stress, you easily compensate. You need to compensate something to build you up, to feel good. So I needed to buy an expensive car to say, therefore I'm doing it. I went in restaurants and everything. I ate too much, and even every dinner, a bottle of wine. So I was not healthy. Luckily, one day I was fed up with it and said, stop now. But to be honest, it took me a while to come to this point. After thinking, what could I do different? I was on the doing level. What could I do different? And I was not really on the be level. How do I want to be different? How do I want to live my life different? As just as a person, not about the having, the office and everything, just the being. So on one day then, I wanted different. And really, I don't want this hustle here. I don't need the facade. And I want it out. And it was a decision. So Number one from the 7 steps is creating a real decision. This decision is not the real specific decision, like in this moment there, where I want to go to. Can be in general. I want to be rich or whatever, I want to be free. It's a general decision. But the main thing, decision, the word decision, goes back to the Latin roots. It comes from the Latin roots and has also the meaning of, from decidere, killing. So if you understand this, what it really means to decide, it's not just simply dividing or picking. It means killing all alternatives. The moment I made the real decision out here, it needs to be different, a lot of things change in the universe. I ask a lot of people in my workshops, wasn't it so, everybody, if you in your life you have experienced, when you really, really, really wanted something, you accomplish it, you got it. And everybody says yes. So this kind of energy, why is it so important? With the dividing, the killing the alternatives, the only frequency, information you have in you and Gary is the frequency of what you really want. And everything in the universe is frequency and information on it. So just thinking about goals, making goal setting and everything doesn't change the frequency. And it brings nothing, just work. So you can daydream, you can talk about a lot of things, but it doesn't change anything in the universe because the frequency is not changing. So number one is make a real decision of what you want. Kill the alternatives. Like simply, the Millionaire book, decide to be rich, financially independent, never depending on someone else. Decide it. The moment you made this decision, whoa. And look at all the big guys who created enormous companies or created enormous sport success or whatever. They made a clear decision. And when you did that, you don't think anymore what other people think about it because alternatives are killed. You don't think about the alternatives. This is decided and I go for that. All your energy, all your time, all your focus goes in the right direction then. Number 2. In the book From Good to Great, Jim Collins pointed out that there were only a few companies, 11 exactly, which, as he said, over 15 years were beating the market, the Dow Jones. Like he looked at the stock market. And from the Fortune 500 companies he looked at, over 15 years, it was more than 1,400 companies in the Fortune 500. Only 11 were all the 15 years in the top 500. Only 11 companies. So he analyzed them and figured a few points. What kind of leadership is this? What type of CEO? Not so much the charisma, the ego. No, they were really focused and had the decision to create the best for the company. And there was one point, this number 2, face the facts even if they're brutal. So face the facts. It's not about opinions. It's what is happening there. And just look at it. not judge it. Face the facts. And they can be brutal because it's a risk. Maybe, we are just risking the company. It's really dangerous. It can be, it was my mistake. There's a lot of things you don't like to accept that can hurt. But the moment you just see it as facts and not putting judgment and emotion on it, because, if you put emotion, law of attraction on it, then you attract maybe more of the problem. But if you stay emotionally with your decision, with what you want, and we will come to make this clearer, but we accept and acknowledge there is something what we don't want. See it. It's on the outside. Don't let it in the inside. See it as the fact, and then you can do the best to solve the problem. That's how they acted. So they really tried to deal with reality, not with opinions, not with ideology, not judging. They could accept their mistakes and be then strong. If you're familiar with Warren Buffett, every year, as the CEO of the company, there's a shareholder meeting, or he was writing a letter to the shareholders. And the first thing, what he points out, all the mistakes he made. Because his strong belief is, and has nothing just so directly to do with the honesty to the shareholders, it is more about himself. He says, if I avoid to see the truth, if I try to make something nicer as it is, I start to trick myself. I can't see reality really anymore, and then I will be a bad investor. So to be a good investor, he said, I need to face the facts, because being a good investor is about having an idea about the reality, not about my fantasy. So that was also when I left my facade with all the offices. I had to really face the facts. What did I have there? What was it? Why did I do it? What is really my dream? Or did I try to create an ego facade because of maybe lower self-esteem, or to show my dad something? What was it really? Did I really, really want it? No. And I needed to accept all the debts I created with loans from the banks. And that my partners or employees will not solve the problem if I am not solving the problem. So it was really tough to accept that I created the mess. Nobody else is responsible. I created the mess. But then I could also decide to change it. And with my first decision, I want to out of here, had all the facts on, I could start to create a goal. Number 3, goal setting. So what is it, what I really want? And this can be interim's goal. It can be a big goal. It can be in the direction of the full life goal. But in this case, in the most cases, this is more one goal. Whatever you want to be, do, and have. So I wanted to get out of this and for sure survive. And I wanted to have a better life. I wanted to have a life with no loans. So I could create it. The decision was not clear where I'm going. I just was clear where want to go away from. The facts, clear, and now I decided, hey, what to do. And there comes a goal. And the goal was on the plus side. And if you really see the simplicity in it, in the beginning, I had a good facade, but I was somehow on the minus side, feeling inside low. I needed a facade to be someone, compensated with money, and had bank loans, had mortgage on the house. Was not everything paid. So I made a decision to have it different in my life. No bank loans, no mortgages, just living free, being financially independent. And then you can create a goal. If it's a number goal, I want to have this amount of money on the bank account. You can say, okay, I make it in real estate or a stock or whatever it is. Then you can make a concrete goal. So, and as my mentor Bob Proctor always said, you need to understand how universe works. Where does all the success come from? How do you materialize what you want in life? So money is quite easy because money is on planet Earth. It doesn't need to be materialized, but it needs to come to you. And what needs to be different? What do we really want to have also? So, and then it's important, like quantum physics, the observer creates the outcome. So if I would have been the old type, the type before the decision, I saw the world like that and it created all the mess. So I needed then to be also someone else, and the situation need to be directly different. That's why it says in the here and now, in the unseen world, in the different dimensions, not just a 3D level, in the different 5, 8 dimensions we don't see it, there we create. There we create in our mind, and it needs to be now. Now it is. In the invisible world, it is created already. And it might take time on this level that we really see it on the 3D level. But there is no doubt. So it was not about becoming one day I want, because then it's not created yet in the invisible world. And it only comes out in the visible world what is created already in the invisible world. So therefore, Bob's suggestion is, I'm so happy and grateful. Now that is. It is already. Even if we don't see it yet, but it is already. And if you have this strong feeling and belief, then you are on the frequency of the goal. If we want to materialize something, we need to be on the frequency of that goal. And then you can attract, and then it can materialize. So you have to have the clear idea what you want. And where we're coming from, I didn't have that. So this also helps to understand whatever you want, you don't need to know how to do it because it's materializing anyway. We can't really do it. And that is not important. And you please choose a goal where you're not knowing how to do it. Because if you know how to, you're in the old frequency, in the old life. If you know how to, your vision, your goal is too small. Because we want just to go there, let's say, visualize it, feel it, be on the frequency of it, And the goal is not why we want something. It's about who we become. It's about the process of being different. And we started with a decision, different frequency. But now we create a clear, specific goal. Now we understand more and more what kind of specific frequency we need to have. And here comes number 4. Because of this goal, because of now it is, that it is really materialized, I need to understand it's first not so much about what do you need to do, who do I need to be? It's like a millionaire. Be first. And it doesn't matter if you want to be a millionaire in real estate or stock markets or whatever. You decide and then be it. Be the millionaire. And those who are millionaires, maybe they're sometimes short of money, but it comes back. The attraction of money is then again there. You will become not a millionaire. You will get the money on the bank account if you are the millionaire. So how do you do it? Like I said already, start with the posture, start with the breathing. See yourself, or some people say, fake it until you make it. So be it, and this being means the frequency you want to be in. Every day, the whole system, your subconscious can't decide what is right or what is wrong. It follows. And if your subconscious has the right frequency, if you, the whole system, is on the right frequency, then you have the law of attraction. Then there's synchronicity. Then you see the possibilities, the opportunities. Then the right people come. And when you then really in the frequency, then comes number 5. Then comes a point, concept, plan. And then you do. So, and now really take a deep breath and be aware. This is one of the most important things in life. If you really want to have different results in your life, be aware. And 96, 97% of all the people make it wrong. Because they start always with the doing. What should I do? How do I do that? And if you're in the doing, you're not in the changing your frequency. You're looking, what should I do? And the old you is doing. And you can work your ass off. You work in the 3D world. Sweat. Wow, hard work. And look at the world. Most people are working hard. They try to change everything on the 3D level. What should I do there? And if you really understand it, if you work hard because you're not changing yourself, you will feel, oh, it's stressy. It's maybe not really working. Maybe you have the self-esteem problem again and say, oh, I'm not sure if I can do it. And you, law of attraction, get more of it. You attract more of this energy. You will not be in the flow. That's why we are human beings. We need to change our being first. How do we see ourselves? If you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see, let's say, let's call it your future self? Even if it's not the good word, because I don't like it, because it's not the future, it should be in the present. But when we talk about the present, we often think, oh, it's the old me. So, are you really, really changing yourself, your frequency? Do you live, all cells live up to this frequency? It might take a while, and really concentration and focus to be it until the subconscious knows everything, all the cells knows it, and you just live it. And if you live from there, if you make plans from there, then everything is so easy. So understand that. First, the goal setting, then the personal transformation to be in the frequency of the goal, and then the plan, the doing. When I did the millionaire workshops, I shared a story I had from John DiMartini. He was out with a billionaire for lunch. And in the 2-hour lunchtime, the billionaire dropped, I guess, 15 ideas how to make $1 million. When I shared this in my millionaire workshops, people said, wow. So first of all, if you have the feeling, you show me that you create the difference between this person and yourself, between the million and yourself. Because it's not normal to create millions. You're not in the frequency of the millionaire yet. Otherwise, you don't make Oz. But what was it really? Was it really something special? No. The billionaire dropped an idea of $1 million, how to make $1 million. So what is it? A billionaire is someone who had 1,000 millions. So he had an idea from a 1,000th of his wealth. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. Nothing special. If you have only $1,000, it's so easy having an idea how to make $1. We all develop this from the child who had no understanding of money, maybe then a little bit of it. Then we got a job, so we learned how to make $10 and maybe $100, $1,000, maybe even $10,000 or $100,000. It's just we developed, but we were not thinking about it. It was not conscious. So how can we make it easier? If we understand that we all are capable, whatever we have, creating an idea from thousands of what we have. So we have these capacity, we have the possibilities to create the same thing like a billionaire. The only difference is when a child has just awareness about little amount of money. When we grow up, we learn to handle bigger sums of money. It is more about the awareness, the level of awareness. That's the only thing. So it's increasing the awareness. And that's the only thing we need to work on. What awareness is the being and not the doing. The more I learn to see, the more I am the billionaire in this example, it's so easy making plans for $1 million. If I'm not there, if I'm on the level of 100,000 or even less, 100 or 1,000, and now the task is to make a plan how to make $1 million, it's so much tougher because to make a plan towards it, it's tough because my consciousness is not there. My awareness is not there. That's why it's so much easier making plans from there. So it's always important, create the goal, then go on the frequency. And if we understand that we are all consciousness, that there is a conscious field, that we all can tap into these frequencies in these information field, we have it so much easier having the information how to create our plans. And then, because we're not the only one on the world creating plans, maybe some other, whatever, whoever on this planet or from other worlds or whatever, interfering with my plan. Not with the goal, with my plan. Or my plan was not good enough. Then I always need to be ready to change the plan. I need to be flexible with the plan. Never with my goal and with my being. If I created it right. Right in the meaning of, that's what I really, really want. But plans, you need to adjust. Because we don't know exactly how it works. But we will learn it. Elon Musk created rockets and blew them up. The first 3 went bust until they exactly knew how it works. But it was with the goal. That's it. From there, he made the plan and made the plan better. But he made not only plans, and here we come to the number 6, action. Really with full energy. Like we say, when you visualize, when you go kind of meditation and really go in the being and visualize your goal in the other dimensions, in the non-visible world, we say, visualize as everything was depending on God. And when we come here have the plan and now we start to work, we put in all the energy we have, we bring really action, and we work like everything is depending on us. This combination makes it. Because if you just have a plan, the being, and not really working on it, let's simply say the Universal Delivery Service would say, maybe it's just a fantasy, it doesn't really want it. So we put all the energy in. Point 6, action. And we know in the word of attraction, we find the word, the letters of action. And then comes number 7. And this is discipline and control. Discipline, Latin roots, the word discipline, discipled. It's more like be the student. Follow your decision. You made a decision. You said them what you want. And discipline is follow yourself. Follow what you decided. Live up to it. And that's the best way you build your self-esteem, just following yourself. Not so much about the results, but you go for it. If you're not going for it, you're undermining your self-esteem. You set goals and I don't work for it. And your subconscious learns, he's setting goals, but never goes for it. So just have the discipline and follow really your goals. And control is, are you on course? Are we really doing it right? And sometimes you see, we reached the goal faster than I thought. You want to adjust the goal, make it higher, what it better. Then you can also adjust it. So the 7 steps: decision, a real decision, killing alternatives, face effects, even at the brutal, clear goal setting. Do you really want something? You don't know how to achieve it? Then comes the most important transformational point. Like the first 3 you see, it's a decision somewhere in there, facing the facts. How do you feel about it? What you know about it? Goal setting is all in the mind. Number 4 is a transformation. The first 3, more in the invisible world. You make the transformation, and from there, we start to bring it in the world also by acting on the 3D level. Creating the plan for the 3D level, and 6, acting and controlling, adjusting. That is then also to really make it happen. And if you understand that, you can create everything. And when we talk here in Winspiration about extraordinary results, understand, with ordinary behavior, no extraordinary results. So, be extraordinary. Dare to be extraordinary. Make decisions that you live up to your full potential. And these steps, follow it. And if something is not working, check. Did I do all the 7s? Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And maybe not going to heaven, but the paradise on planet Earth. Thank you for being part of this Winspiration show. But as you know, listening is one thing, knowing is one thing, applying, that makes it really happening for you. I wish you all the best. Be Winspired. This was another episode of Winspiration, Wisdom and Information to support you getting out of illusions, false identifications, limiting beliefs. We all have the power and potential to be more, do more, have more, give more. Reality is what is possible in the universe, and the best is yet to come. If you want to dive deeper into possibilities of creating the extraordinary future, go to winspiration.global or to wolfgangsonnenburg.com. More information and some free downloads like the email program Dream Goals Reality or a copy of the book The Best Is Yet to Come can be found on the UK Health Radio website under the Listen on Demand and Presenters section. Join us again next week on the Winspiration Show for more wisdom and information to create your extraordinary future.